Hello, everyone. It's Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com. Welcome to today's live. It is early and late. I'm just going to blab for a second here to let people join me live. I am live 30 minutes earlier than normal because we've got an extra project to share tonight. So I wanted to come on a little bit early to make sure we had enough time. And then I ended up in a work meeting that went very super late. It was supposed to be done at 4, and at 4:28 I said I gotta go. So here we are. I'm mostly ready, but you gotta bear with me here. So in the process of turning on my phones for tonight, I'm looking for our catalog page. In the process of turning on my phones for tonight, the one that shows my face, I know it's showing my face because I can look up at my computer and I can see it, but the one directly in front of me, it's just a black screen. So, we just deal with it all today. Anyway, it's okay. It's a good day. It's just, when you feel a little bit frazzled, I feel frazzled. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't have time to like pee before this. Which I don't, that probably sounds ridiculous, but you know what? You guys just, you get to live with it. Anyway, hi, Alicia. Hi, Mom. Hi, Lori. Hi, Joan. Welcome to tonight's video. I'm not sure if we're going to have a ton of people join. I tried to put out a reminder that we're 30 minutes early, but we'll see what happens. But you know what? Replay is always available, right? So as you join, whether you're watching live or the replay, please do leave a comment, say hello. I love to know when people are watching. So, and I only know that from the comments. If you just watch and you don't comment, I don't know that you're here. So anyway, tonight we're playing with the Sending Love bundle. We've got some fun stuff going on. And the reason I wanted to start early is twofold. I know they're always important, and I always just feel like I have to pee. Even though I don't have to. Like it's funny. When I was in high school, the school bathrooms grossed me out so much. I never went to the bathroom. Rarely ever. Like I avoided it if I could. And even like working and in college, I would avoid it as much as possible. I don't like public bathrooms. But now that I work from home, and I have for almost 4 years, I feel like I go like every hour. It's just like when my watch tells me it's time to stand, I'm like, oh, I guess I'll go to the bathroom. Sorry if that's TMI, but I don't know. Hopefully you enjoy that humor, I hope. So luckily I don't feel like I have to pee right now. So we'll see if that changes. But anyway, so the reason I'm live a little bit early today is twofold. Number one, I am sharing a 4th project with you today. And number two, not to go potty terms here, number one and number two. Number two is because I'm a basketball aunt. Tonight is the last night of basketball for the kids. And so I want to make sure, usually I walk in after they've already started. And I thought, you know what? I don't know for sure how long the 4th project will take me. I'm hoping it'll be pretty quick, relatively quick, but just in case, I thought I better go on early because I definitely don't want to be late to basketball. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera down and get started. Like I said, I can't see my own face in front of me. So I think it's pretty good. Usually I can stay in the frame and I can see this. Do they have a party? For basketball, they don't. And it's kind of a weird thing. I feel like my light is so much dimmer. I'm gonna leave it. Don't get persnickety, Melissa. Hi, Dawn. They're not having a basketball party. So Russell plays for an hour and then they have a 15-minute break and then Kylie plays, and it already gets done like 45 minutes after bedtime. So it's a little bit, a little too late. I know, I just don't like public bathrooms. Anyway, and they play at an elementary school, and I have gone to the bathroom at this elementary school. This is such weird conversation. I love it. I'm here for it. I have gone to the bathroom, but it's an elementary school, so it's like the toilets are on the ground, it feels like. Anyway, so they're not having a pizza party, and what's kind of interesting is my niece Kylie, she plays soccer, and she's played soccer with pretty much the same core team since kindergarten. So it's been years, and they play in the fall and the spring/summer. So like they've had, they're going on having 8 teams that are pretty much the same core of girls, and they are so close. I know the kids, I know their parents, and I'm her aunt, right? I don't go to the practices or anything, but I know the parents' names. I interact with the parents, all this. But for basketball, it's just such a different feeling because I don't know any of the kids. So I know one of the kids on my nephew's team because his sister plays soccer with Kylie. So anyway, but no end of party or end of season pizza party that I know of, but if there's pizza, I will eat it. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're playing with today. So if you have a mini catalog, go to page 11, and we're going to use the Sending Love bundle. Now, originally, I did not buy this bundle. I've always thought it was cute. I've always wanted it, but I thought, no, it's okay. Like, what really can you do with a mailbox? It's going to be all mailboxes, right? And I decided one day that I wasn't going to get in my own way. And if I wanted it, I was buying it. So I bought it. You can see there's a really awesome die set, some really awesome cling mount stamps. Several are already mounted on blocks. And I just love it. I have loved using it. A lot of people associate it with Valentine's Day because it's in the front of the catalog with the Valentine's sets. You do not need to use it for Valentine's Day, which you'll see today, because clearly Valentine's Day is over and we're not crafting, right, for Valentine's anymore. Hi, Corinne. So let me show you the cards we're going to make together tonight and then talk a little bit about those. So these are the 3 cards we're going to make together tonight. I did do the die cutting on this one ahead of time. I was going to stamp and die cut a few things ahead of time. And then I thought, no, that's not fun. So, so we're going to make these 3 cards together tonight. Let me switch my little banner here at the bottom because something that I offer with all of my YouTube and Facebook lives is that if you place an order with me in my online store this week through Friday, February 23rd at like 11:59 p.m. CST. So end of the day, Friday, if you place a $40 order with me before tax and shipping, you are going to get the card kits to make these at home. So you'll get the supplies to make 2 of each card, so 6 cards as a free gift for me as a thank you. And I always like to sweeten it a little bit. So if you go above $50, I usually include maybe linen thread or ribbon, embellishment. Well, this week we're doing something completely different. And you're going to get an extra project kit to make one of these cool 3D mailboxes. This one doesn't have anything in it, but you're going to get the supplies to make one of these. So this is our 4th project. I am going to show you how to make it tonight. I don't mention any of the measurements during my video. Those do come in the PDF, which you get for free when you order the class or place an order and get the class. And also all of my team members get the PDF. So if you order at that $40 level, you're going to get the supplies to make these, plus the full PDF, which does have measurements and everything for this. If you go over $50, you're going to get these, and I will, cut these supplies for you to make a mailbox as well. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our Azure Afternoon card here. And it is so stinking cute. And of course, we had to blend for one of our cards, right? But I did do some of the die cutting ahead of time, which I mentioned. But I am going to walk you through what would come in your kit. So you will get an Azure Afternoon card base, a basic white layer, a strip of the Brights Designer Series paper. So that side has hearts. How cute. You'll get a piece of basic white to stamp, color, and die cut your mailbox. You'll get a piece of bubble bath to stamp your envelopes. And then also you're going to get this label, which is die cut from the perennial postage dies, because come on, they pair perfectly, right? Mailboxes, postage, right? So you'll get one of these labels die cut for you, which we're going to stamp our sentiment on. And then you're also going to get some linen thread. For embellishments for this card, I use these iridescent adhesive backed dots. I'm using different embellishments for all of them, so you can use what you have, or if you really like something I use and you don't have it, you can also obviously order it as well. So let's go ahead and start with stamping. Best way to start. So I'm going to grab my mailbox here and my Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad, and we are going to ink up this mailbox and stamp it on our scrap of white. Now, because the mailbox is bigger than my ink pad, I am going ink to stamp rather than stamp to ink. And again, this week I wore sleeves with baggy sleeves. So hopefully they don't get in the way, but I think that they're doing better than the sweatshirt from a few weeks ago. Hey Nancy, you switched over to Facebook. Well, we love having you wherever you watch, so thanks for being here. Okay, we've got that stamped. We can set that to the side, and then we're going to, let's start with this one here. So our basic white layer, and I've got this fun, I don't know what this is called, it's total brain fart, I cannot remember it. I call it the wavy lines or the wavy strip. But like when your stamp, gets like approved or whatever from your envelope, I mean. I don't know what this is called. So if you know, tell me. Hey, Anne, welcome. So I'm going to ink this up in Bubble Bath, and then I'm just going to stamp it onto this basic white layer, and I'm going to do one crooked because, just for funsies. Why not? I feel like my desktop is darker today, so I apologize for that. But it's been a day. We can't finagle with the technologies, otherwise they'll just stop working. So all right, then I've got Berry Burst ink. By the way, Azure Afternoon, Berry Burst, and Bubble Bath, probably the best color combo. Just saying. It's called a cancel. That is funny. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. I never would have guessed that. I like wavy strips better. So we've got these hearts here. I inked those up in Berry Burst, and we're just going to stamp them just a couple of times. Now, every time I do this, I stamp these ones way too far to the left, and they get partially covered by our DSP. So just keep that in mind. And then we're going to go way up at the top here because we're going to put that mailbox down, and I kind of want those to peek out a little bit. Okay, set that away. We'll grab our die cut label here, and I've got welcome friend. How cute is that? Let me get my head over this. Sorry. Get my head over that. I know I was off camera. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. Wavy lines look like, yes. Yeah, so I agree, Anne. I just didn't know what it was called, and I don't like that it's called a cancel. So I just call it wavy strips. That is really interesting. I don't know. Maybe, the more you know, the more you learn, right? All right, we've got our mailbox here. Let's go ahead and color that in. So I'm going to start with some Azure Afternoon blends, and that's what we're going to color the actual mailbox with. So, I like to start with my dark and just add a little bit of shading. All willy-nilly. There's no real science to this. I just go wherever. And then I'll use my light Azure Afternoon to go in and color in the rest of the mailbox. And when I use my light, I am coloring in a circular motion so that I can blend in the dark. Okay, and that is how we get that fun blended look here of the two tones of the color. And don't forget the lid. And make sure you color outside the lines a little. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Just kidding. But you know what? It's okay. I always say these are handmade cards. So if there's a little bit of an imperfection, that means that it is perfect. Can't have a perfect card, right? It's got to be something that's a little off, like a crooked sentiment or coloring outside the lines. It's all fair game. Oh, thanks, Anne. All right, so let's go Berry Burst for our flag here. Same thing, just adding a little bit with the dark, and then we'll color in the rest with the light. You guys are gonna maybe laugh too. My crumb cake, my light crumb cake blend desperately needs to be replaced, but my dark crumb cake blend is just fine, so I can't bring myself to replace it. But you can kind of see it here in my sample. You can see a little bit there where I put the dark. It's not like blended properly because my light crumb cake is just, it's dying, and I can't bring myself to replace it until I need to replace the dark one too. I know that's probably crazy of me, but whatever. All right, so you can see I'm just scribbling our post box here, or our mailbox post. And then we'll go in with the light. Now, when I color with blends, this is total personal preference. When I color with blends, I like to use the fine tip edge. I don't know why. It just makes me feel like I have better control of where my marker is actually going. And even though I don't mind coloring outside the lines a little bit, it helps me to not color outside the lines a lot, when I use those brush tip ends, sometimes they're a little bit frayed because I'll use them for like speckling. I'll like flick it onto my card. So sometimes they get frayed and they just go where they want. So I use the bullet tip end, and it might take a little bit longer to color, but I don't know. I like it. And I feel like sometimes, and maybe this is just my eyes playing tricks on me, when I use the bullet tip end, I feel like it's lighter. I feel like it's a lot darker when I use the brush tip. I don't know. Can you hear that? It's like Replace me. All right, and last but not least, we've got lemon lime twist here for our grass. Now this for sure you should color outside the lines because it's grass and it goes wherever it wants. So I added some dark and then we'll just add some light, and we're going to die cut this out. And so some of this green that I'm coloring is going to get die cut, and that's okay. No big deal. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this ready to be die cut. So I've got my mailbox. I've got my Post-it note tape, and I'm throwing things, accidentally throwing things. So we're going to go ahead and just line this up with some Post-it note tape. And then these envelopes, okay, to be honest with you, you could just cut them. Oh, you do agree it gives a lighter color? Yeah, I think so too. And so I think I've just become so used to it that when I switch to the brush tip, I'm like, how do I function? Anyway, hi, Kathleen. Okay, so the envelopes, you totally could cut those out with your trimmer if you wanted to, but we've got a die and we're already doing some die cutting, so we're just going to go for it. We're just going to die cut it out because they gave us one, so why not, right? All right, so we've got that die cut. I know I'm off camera here, but let me pop these out. Get it stuck in there, okay? All right, so we've got that. And beautiful, and we're going to use that mailbox die later too. And then I have one of the envelopes here, and then we'll get the other one. So I'm just lining up that die again onto my second envelope and taping that down with my Post-it note tape. And then we'll crank that back through. Here it comes. All righty. So there is our second envelope. So cute. There's even little hearts in the set, so you could add a little heart onto your envelope. It's so cute. All right, let's go ahead and assemble. Whoa, throw our linen thread. Well, we're going to assemble this card. So I've got my seal here, and I'm going to add some seal to the back of our DSP strip. Now, I would totally use this heart side, but I cut it the wrong way. The hearts are so cute, don't you think? Thank you for sharing, Kathleen. All right, we are going to line this up so it's going to match on the top and the bottom with our basic white layer. And I am just leaving a little bit of a white margin on the left-hand side, okay? All right, we'll add some seal to the back of our basic white layer and adhere this to our card front. And then we'll go ahead and close and burnish our card. All right, we've got that. And then we're going to take our mailbox, of course, add some dimensionals. And beautiful. Peel off the backings. And then we'll adhere this to the card. So you can see where this time the hearts, I didn't tuck them behind that designer series paper, but I just love that they kind of peek out from that mailbox. So cute. All right, I'm going to take my seal then and add a little bit to the right of our mailbox here. And then we'll grab that linen thread and make our faux bow. So you can see I connected it in the center and tapped that down onto that seal. And then we'll go ahead and just crisscross it so it'll look like a bow. Now, if you like to make bows, you could definitely just tie it and then stick it down. But I don't mind making bows. Why do it if you don't have to? All right, we've got our sentiment here. So on the side with the W, I am going to single stack a dimensional. On the other side, we're going to double stack because I want this to be raised one level higher than our mailbox. So our mailbox is already up on dimensional, so this is going to take care of that other side there, if that makes sense. And we'll stick that down. So stinking cute. All right, we're going to grab our envelopes, and on the back of these, I'm going to add seal. But I'm also going to take a dimensional and I'm going to put it right here on the opening. So I'll raise that in a second here. So right in that opening there of the box and the lid. Okay. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. And I am going to use that because I want them to stick out a little bit, but I also want it to be adhered to the mailbox. And you'll see this first one that I stick down pretty much takes over that whole dimensional. So this one needs a little bit of seal just to reinforce it. But of course we need some cards coming out of our open mailbox, right? Right. All right. So then I'm going to grab my iridescent discs here, and I'm going to use the green ones to match our grass. And these are the same size. So I'm just going to grab 2 of the green ones and stick them down on the right there. And that is our very first card for this week. Isn't that one so cute? I love it so much. I love the bright and cheery colors. I'm a big fan. All right, here's our second card. Uh-oh, did I freeze? There I am. Here's our second card using the die cut pieces. This is a super fun card. If you didn't get that from my voice flux, super. And this one even has a little brad. So we can't lose the brad. I did do the die. Well, let me make sure I got it all out. Yeah, I did. I did do the die cutting ahead of time for this card. So this one should go together pretty quick and easy, but I will show you that. So this one, you'll get a thick basic white card base. You'll get a piece of the, oh, now the name is gone. Most Adored, I think. Most Adored DSP. This is the Celebration DSP. Again, kind of passes as a Valentine's DSP, but it doesn't have to. You can see I've got a different pattern here than I do from this card. So this is fun because we're going to get to decide which pattern we like better. You'll also get a piece of vellum that is die cut from the perennial postage dies because, again, you can't not use those dies with this set. What did I have this for? Oh, I forgot to die cut the envelope. Silly me. We have die cutting to do. We're going to use this basic white piece to die cut out our envelope because I forgot. Then you'll have a piece of bubble bath to die cut out a mailbox. You'll have a piece of lemon lime twist to die cut out your little grassy bush thing here. You'll have a piece of crumb cake to die cut out your post. And you'll have a piece of sweet sorbet to die cut out your flag and your little bow. It's upside down. There you go. The bow I did do with an adhesive sheet, just FYI. And then you're going to have a strip of basic white for your sentiment. And finally, you're going to get a brad. So on this card, I used one of the small circles. And on this one, I'm going to use one of the squares. So it's going to be super cute. Let me die cut this envelope real fast because, you know, I forgot before. So in all the rush and coming down here after that meeting, I forgot to put my slippers on and my feet are freezing. Not that you needed to know that, but I just thought I would share. I also don't know what to do with them because I always wear slippers down here. I don't think there's ever been a time that I haven't. And so I'm they're on the legs of my chair and I'm like, what do I do with them? They're not comfortable there. I might have to sit cross-legged. Maybe. Here, let me do it. Hold on. This is how I sit sometimes when so I'll take my slippers off and sit like this sometimes. Anyway, all the tangents, all the things you guys cared to know about today, right? All right, let me grab my tuxedo black Memento ink. And then we've got our sentiment that says, a little love from me to you. How cute is this? You can see I put my sticker on very crooked. And so this one might end up a little slanted, but that's okay. I gave myself some extra space and it went on pretty straight. That's a miracle. You guys must have been, praying for me. But we will trim it down with our trimmer. I gave myself extra space because you never know what's going to happen sometimes, right? Right. Okay. So you can trim this down as much as you would like to. And I'm just using my trimmer because I do not trust myself with my snips. It would not be straight. Now my tootsies will be warm. Exactly. That's why I had to sit like this because I need them to be warm. I was laughing. I was out with my mom today. I had to drop off some stuff at the post office and I was laughing to her because I was like, it's February in Minnesota. It's the mid 40s and I'm wearing my ankles are exposed. And I was like, this is just really bizarre. Oh my gosh, Lori, they gave the spiders your address. That is funny. All right. So I'm using my brad here. So when you die cut this mailbox, how about that? It does die cut out this little hole. Oh, you know what would be really good? If we did the flag first. You guys are probably laughing at me. Anyway, put it through the flag first because when you die cut the flag, it also die cuts out that little hole, which is really neat. And then you can go through your mailbox. And we're just going to attach our flag with a brad because then it's going to be able to move. And you know what? Even when you do it upside down, you can just turn it around. This is today, you guys. All right, then there are some score lines here. So I'll just go ahead and fold. See, now it's the right way. I'm going to grab my silicone craft mat here. And there's another score line right here. And I'm going to take my seal and I'm going to run along there. Now the seal is going to be wider than that piece there. So I just, use my silicone craft mat because then it won't stick to my glass mat. And we don't want that. Maybe you should fold this before you add seal. You guys, happy Tuesday. It's just a Monday, Tuesday. Anyway, you fold that piece over and then just, fold your mailbox over and press it down and pretend you lined it up a lot nicer. We just can't even today. Anyway, and then this actually opens and you can slide a little letter into it, which is what we are going to do. So let's go ahead and adhere some things before more things go a little bit wrong. All right, we've got our seal on our DSP. I'm going to add that to our card front here. Now, totally up to you. You can add your vellum next, or you can add your pieces to your vellum. And then add that to your card, which is what I'm going to do. So I've got my vellum here. We'll start, you know what, we're going to bring in that silicone craft mat again, just for safety, just to make sure, because the last thing we want is a sticky surface, right? That's not fun because then it sticks. And oh, no worries, Debbie. That's okay. I kind of suspected that a few people might miss it, but that's all right. Just this week is different because we've got an extra project and we've got the last night of basketball. All right, I added my post. Then I'm going to add some seal to the back of our mailbox. And we'll add that to our card. Isn't that so cute? And then let's add our little bush here. And you want to know, can I tell you guys something? The real reason why I was like, yep, okay, fine, I have to get this bundle, and I'm so glad I did, is because for the Cutest Cows class, which I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, I'm just going to fold our envelope here. Oh, we don't need this anymore. There are score lines on this. But the real reason is because for the Cutest Cows class, I use the grass. And I was like, I really need this. Nope, Deborah, I did put it out in my email newsletter and it was scheduled. So it just this week was changed because we have an extra card and I have basketball tonight, so I couldn't run later. But just this week was changed. But if you guys are ever curious about that, make sure you're on my email newsletter list because I did communicate that out, that this week would be different. So just make sure you're getting those and reading them. All right, I added some seal to our bigger flaps here just to close that. Then I've got this adorable bow that I pre-die cut, and I've got an adhesive sheet on the back because it's a very, very skinny, very little, right? I do not want to try to put glue on that. And then we're just going to attach this down. Now, you probably do want to use seal to close your envelope, just FYI. On my very first card, I did not use seal at first. And then I ended up having to put a glue dot under because there was so much pressure that my bow kept popping up. So just an FYI, okay? All right, we've got that. I'm going to set it aside for a second while we glue this to our card front. So we're going to add some seal here. And I'm adding seal. Whoa, getting funky there. Adding seal to the back of the vellum that I know will be covered on our card here. And then we'll go ahead and lay this onto our card front. So cute. I love it. And Bubble Bath works really well with Flirty Flamingo too, I think. All right, we'll add some seal to the back of our envelope. And tuck this inside our mailbox. Look how cool that is that it can go inside. Isn't that fun? And we'll just stick that down. Oh, no worries, Deborah. Really, no worries. I kind of thought that a few people would be late, but that's okay because you have the replay. So don't worry about that. I did try to communicate it out just so you guys would know, but I wasn't aware last week. Otherwise, I would have ended last week's live mentioning. But I decided to do an extra project tonight, and I didn't decide that till after the live was done last week. So, all right, I cut some little banner ends there on my piece here and on my sentiment, I should say. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals. and stick that onto the front of our card. So cute. And finish off on this one, I'm going to use the rainbow dots in Bubble Bath. You can see my favorite color. I'm going to need more rainbow dots just so I have more Bubble Bath ones. And I just added a couple of those down on the card. And that is card number 2. So you have to tell me which pattern you like better. I think it is so cute. I love this card. So, yes, I love all the details in these dies too, Deborah. I just think that it's so clever. What they've done is so clever, don't you think? All right, here is card number 3. This one I tried to keep a little bit simple-ish, but I also kept in mind that we haven't used messy scrap paper yet, so we have to pull that out for one card at least, right? Okay, so we've got here a Berry Burst card base, a Bubble Bath layer, a basic white layer, a scrap of Bubble Bath for our mailbox, and then also a circle die cut from the Stylish Shapes dies in basic white. That's what I was looking for. What was the square on the second card? This? Like the vellum? Is this what you're asking, Debbie? If so, this is from the Perennial Postage dies. Hopefully that answered. On the mailbox, oh, this is a brad. So this is just a brad to hold it. So on this one, I used a square, and on this one, I used the circle. But they're just a brad so that the flag can actually move. So, all right, let's go ahead. We got to start by cleaning our mailbox because on the first card, we used it in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I'm surprised you guys like the pink one better. I like the red one better. I don't know. It's kind of, it's very interesting sometimes to see people's styles, how different that things are. Like, I'm just going to tell you a little secret. There sometimes in the past, more so, if there's been a card I really have not liked, I've posted it anyway, and it's usually your guys' favorite. Isn't that kind of crazy? Like, I'm like, this is ugly, and then you guys are like, oh my gosh, it's the best card you've ever made, and I'm like, what? Anyway, so just don't critique yourself, right? Your creations are beautiful no matter what. Okay. All right, so yes, the movable flag, the mailbox you can actually put stuff in. It's just so cool. It's so fun. Hi, Carol. All right, we're going to use Berry Burst ink, and we're going to go to town with Berry Burst ink. So let's go ahead. This time, I'm going to just do this because it's not much bigger. The Tuxedo Black ink pad is pretty small. So, all right, we've inked up our mailbox in Berry Burst. Now, this is a fun way to have a fun mailbox without having to color. So this is a cool way. And then we've got this sentiment here that says, I miss you, a little note to say on both sides, and then it says I miss you, and we're going to stamp that onto our Stylish Shape die cut. Beautiful for our sentiment there. And somehow I got it like basically perfectly in the center. I don't know how that happened. Then I've got my card base here. Now I usually don't burnish until I have something on the front that reminds me which way the card goes, but we're going to do it this time because we're going to add a little bit of a background. And I am going to grab my messy scrap paper, my very messy scrap paper, and we've got our Berry Burst ink, and then we're going to use this one. Now, what do you guys call this line? I know the other one was a cancel. This is the dash line. Okay, we're going to ink this up. Now, full disclosure, if you guys watch my reels on Instagram or Facebook, you'll notice I went the long way. Well, it really inked up the front of my stamp there, and so we're going to go sideways this time. But what I'm going to do is just ink this up in Berry Burst, and then because of how crooked it is, I'm kind of starting at this upper left corner to make sure, because the last thing you want is to go like completely crooked and then it doesn't reach all the way across. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and stamp that down. Excuse me. And just ink that up and just keep stamping it down. Now it is cling mount, so you might stamp it a little crooked a few times. Just, I'm fine with that. If you have a stamper, it does look like a straw. If you have a stamparatus, you could use that as well. Do some hinge step stamping here. You can see I'm making, it's a little bit more like a ray of sun. And there's some gapping in between, whatever, It's all good. We're just making a fun little background. And once we get those center oh my gosh, center panels. Once we get those on, they won't really be able to see the center and know that it's a little crooked. So it's all good. Wow, center panels. That is something I'm going to need to practice saying. Maybe not. When am I going to say that again? Anyway, not sure of the name, but it reminds you of what an airmail. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. I just don't know if it has a name. So I'm right there with you. Okay, so we've got this stamped. We're going to die cut this in a second, but then we're going to take this basic white piece here, and I'm going to grab my bubble bath ink, and we're going to grab our wavy strip, or cancel, as you guys like to call it. I have squirrel brain, Debbie. That's just what that is. Oh, Lori used her stamp apparatus yesterday. I like to sneak it out and use it every now and then. So we've got our wavy strips here. I'm going to stamp it down once, and then I'm going to go above. Now, again, these are cling mount, so it's kind of guessing. You might be off like I just was. It's all right. The mailbox is going to cover it, so you're going to be good. Just say it's intentional, right? If you ever make a mistake on a card, just say, well, I meant to do that. All right, we've got our mailbox here. Let's grab our, our die. That's what it's called. I'm going to grab this Post-it note tape here and stick this down, get it all lined up, looking good, and tape it down with our tape. And grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and drop one of the plates on the ground. And we're going to die cut this through. Oh, that was hard. I had to uncross my legs. Anyway. All right, we're going to die cut out this mailbox. So super stinking cute. And set that back on the ground there. Okay, and we've got our cute bubble bath / berry burst mailbox. So we can go ahead and start assembling our card. Now here's a little trick I'm going to teach you. You like squirrel babble. It does sound younger, doesn't it? It sounds like adolescent. Anyway. All right, I am adding some seal to the back of our bubble bath layer. Now, I want to put this on crooked, but I always struggle because if I just, glue it down, then sometimes like one of the corners you can't see once you put this piece on and whatever. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got seal on the back of this piece. I'm going to just go ahead and kind of lay it, I kind of want it to look like this. And then we'll just stick that down on the card, and we know kind of about, where we actually wanted it to go. Now, after you make a couple of these, you might already know where you want it to go. But, just kind of a fun little tip just to get that spacing wherever you want it. And then we'll just put our basic white piece down. I'm going to change my angling a little bit there, not too much, but all right, we've got our bubble bath mailbox here, and we'll add some dimensionals, peel off the backings. And then we're going to stick this down over our wavy strips, our cancel strips, whatever. All right, so here's our sentiment. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, I think I'll just use one dimensional. And I'm going to stick it down next to our mailbox here. And then I'm going to grab this sentiment here, and we'll just kind of place it on wherever we want it to go. Now, I stamped my wavy strips over to the left more than I probably would have liked. So I might have this sentiment cross a little bit because I want to be able to see it over on the right hand side there. So you can see kind of the difference. I had it cross over. To each their own, right? Total personal preference there. All right, let's finish this one off with some iridescent rhinestones. I'm going to use one of the larger ones. And then we'll use two of the smaller ones here. So one there and one up above our sentiment, and that is card number 3. I can't believe how fast we're going, you guys. So quick. So that is our third card. So cute. So just as a reminder, let me pull these in. Just as a reminder, so if you would like the card kits for these, a $40 order will get you the card kits to make 2 of each of these. So just what you see here. Super fun, right? But that $50 order gets you a little extra something, And this week we're doing something a little different because that $50 order will get you the supplies to make one of these beautiful mailboxes. So we are going to make this together. Now, unfortunately, it's not very photogenic when it's flat. So we're going to try our best because I don't know, maybe we can have it stand up. It takes up less room when it's standing up. But let's take a look at what you would get if you placed a $50 order. Now, for this mailbox, I did do most of the prep work ahead of time. So I do have like, you know, some detail here and on the front. So the sides and the front, I did already stamp and die cut those just to save a little bit of time. But you will get the supplies to do that as well. So you will get with this, I can't pick any of the stuff up. There we go. With this, you're going to get a piece of blueberry bushel. You can see I've got scores in here. I know you guys loved the mailbox last week. So really, you guys were the instigators for this because you were like, you got to show us how to make the mailbox. And I was like, okay, I'll show you how to make the mailbox. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to do that as the extra freebie. So I've got score lines in here. I'll show you those in a little bit. You're going to get 2 of these die cut arches, and we've got some die cutting to do here, and it's something that you're going to have to do. So I'm going to show it to you live. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Then you're going to have a blueberry bushel square that you'll put 2 score lines in. I'm trying to see. There you go. You can kind of see them. So again, all the measurements will be in the PDF. You'll get 2 die cut pieces. These are the smallest dies from the Nested Essentials die set. And so these, and then I stamped mail in blueberry bushel ink. Okay. You'll also get a piece of basic white to stamp and die cut this. It says sent with love. How adorable is that? Again, in blueberry bushel. And then that die actually comes from our Sending Love set. It's this circle die right here. And then you'll also have some balmy blue to stamp and die cut these little envelopes. Oh yeah, that's a great idea, Lori. You know what? I'm gonna have 3 of them. So I think that's definitely a great idea. I'm like, what do I do with 3 of them? Anyway, and then you'll have a strip here that is cut from the Zany Zoo dies. They have these cool scalloped. I gotta take a drink. Excuse me. All right. Anyway, so that scalloped die is from Zany Zoo. So I will send that die cut piece to you as well. And then you'll just, I'll send you a little piece of this Azure Afternoon, which I'm using for our little handle to pull out here. So, okay, let's start. We've got some die cutting to do. So here's what we're going to do. When you get your kit, you're going to need to make some legs, right? And so I'm going to use my die cutting machine. You could use your trimmer and just cut these. But what I recommend is you're going to want to stack them on top of each other, okay? Because you're going to want it to be, you know, pretty equal on both sides. So I've got these stacked. I'm going to lay this down. I didn't grab my dies beforehand, so let me dig in this, my little bin here real quick. Oh, where did they go? That's not them. Wait, that's because I'm pulling the wrong way. There we go. I found them. I have two of these stylish shapes dies. So I'm going to take this middle one here. I think it's the middle one. Yes, I'm going to take the middle square and just set that down here onto the bottom. And that's going to create our legs on the sides. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and die cut that through. So you will need to die cut or cut your own legs here. That sounded so gross. You'll need to cut your own legs. Anyway, you get what I mean, right? Okay. And then we'll just be able to pop that out. And we've got our legs there, okay? Alrighty. So let me just move this out of the way. There it is. Great. Okay. So now let's start assembling. Are you guys excited? Okay. So what I've got here is this blueberry bushel piece. You can see there's score lines on both of the, like the shorter, or yeah, you know, there's 2 score lines here. And then I've got 4 score lines here. Now, one of these sections at the end is longer, and I have that on my right-hand side. I'm trying to angle it so you can see. There you go. So you can see this one is shorter than this one. So the one that's longer, what I'm going to do is take my bone folder and just curl this a little bit. Because when we curl it around to make the mailbox, we want that cardstock to bend where we want it to go, right? So I'm just going to curl it a little bit. You don't have to go too crazy with it. It's a little bit hard for me to curl because I have small hands. So I can't like reach all the way across, but you'll get it. I know you will. Okay, so we've got that. And then you're going to want some tear and tape. I had to get it out. And what's very, very important, I'm going to even put this at the left-hand side, is that you want to make sure that the tear and tape covers the entire side. Okay. So very important here. I'm lining this all the way up. The curled side is now on my left-hand side, and I'm just going down to that score line, which is right here, right below that tear and tape, okay? Same thing here on the other side. And the reason why we're putting it across the whole thing, I totally forgot to mention, hi, Mary Ellen. I forgot to mention that this is cased from Erica Serwin, so I am using her tips and tricks here on this as well because they were really awesome. So Erica had mentioned, which I hadn't even thought about, is that you don't want to have all these little tiny bits of tear and tape, which you're gonna understand in a second. You don't want all those tiny bits. So it's just nice to run that whole strip across. Okay. And what we're gonna do is use your snips. We're gonna just go ahead and peel off the backing of the tear and tape. Maybe might work easier if I use my fingers. It's like, no, I don't want to. Got it. Anyway, you can do one side at a time or just go for it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here. So curled edge again is over on our left now. I'm going to just cut up these score lines right to that horizontal score line. So we'll just chop up there. Same thing here. And then this curled edge, we need to fringe it. So what I'm going to do is just take my snips every, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, probably 1/8 inch is best. And just chop up a lot. And this is where you can see, like, you don't want to be peeling off little tear and tape bits from all these little tiny fringes, right? You just want to go ahead and have it sticky already. Okay, so we've got that. And you can see then this is why it's so important to get that tear and tape at the end, because you want your last fringe to get it too. Oh, you use the take your pick tool. That's clever. I should have tried that. I should try that right now. Why didn't I think of that? All right. Oh, wow. Look at that, Deborah. That was first try, except it stuck back down. Hold on. That's like first try. Wow. All right. So here's our other side. We're going to do the same thing. Cut up those score lines here. And yes, it's going to be sticky. And yes, you're going to have to like fiddle with it a little bit to get it all lined up, but it's okay. We can do it. Okay. Practice makes progress. So just be patient with yourself. Be patient with your cardstock. It is a little finicky. Sometimes it doesn't completely want to go exactly where you want it to go, which I've learned. This is now the 5th mailbox I've made like this. So they've all treated me differently. So we'll see how this one goes. Maybe it'll be nice. Anyway, but the idea of it is the same. And I do think it gets easier each time. But anyway, all right, we've got that fringed. What we're going to do, the sides that aren't fringed. Oh, you know what would have been smart too is if you burnished these. Do that before you do that before you cut it. Jeez. Oh, well, you live and learn, right? Okay, these fringes will just quick. And this is my version of burnishing. Luckily, I scored really well. So, okay. So there's that. Anyway, so the non-fringe sides, we're just going to fold up at those 90-degree angles. Okay. And it is super sticky because you've got tear and tape everywhere. So we're just going to fold these up. I'm just adhering it to each other. It's sticking to me. So good. All good. All good. Okay. So we've got that. Okay. So you got your little, like your box and then your little, wingy bit. Then we're going to take our die cut piece here. I'm going to flip it upside down so that I have the back side. And then this is where we're going to get a little bit challenging. Why about the fridges? You'll see. This is where it's going to get a little bit challenging because I might have to like pick it up and you might not be able to see, but just trust me. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is first we're going to align the sides and the bottom here. So I'm going to align the sides and then the bottom right here, and it is going to be a tight fit. Okay. And just go ahead and just, you know, I'm just kind of eyeballing it and trying to stay in camera a little bit here. So the reason for the fringes, Deborah, is because we have to curl it now around this piece. You can try it without fringing it, but I don't think your cardstock is going to be very happy with you. So you can try it, but okay, so we've got that stuck, and then we're just going to kind of bend it around. Right? And those fringes just help kind of get it where we want it to go. And then I'll just take my bone folder and just really reinforce where we stuck that down. Okay. So this next one should hopefully be a little bit easier. But it's also, yeah, okay. I knew you'd see it as soon as I did it. Yes. We want those legs to be, you know, pretty much the same height. So it's a little bit challenging in that aspect, but everything is kind of like where it's supposed to go. So it should be a little bit easier. And then same thing here. I'm just going to pinch that closed, or pinch the adhesive. And then we're just going to do the same thing where we just wrap. Hopefully you can see this well, but where we're just going to wrap it around. Okay. All right. Now, word of warning. When you fill this with candy, don't have it be too heavy because your legs might give out, and you don't want that. Ask me how I know. All right. So there's kind of our mailbox. He looks a little funny, but you know, you just practice it and just, you know, you'll get it. You'll get it. Okay. So then I've got this little square here. I've got 2 score lines in it. And so we're just going to fold those. Okay. And I'm going accordion style here. Beautiful. And then I'm going to grab my tear and tape again. And we'll peel off a piece of our tear and tape, and I'm going to stick it down on the 1/2 inch piece. Now, just like that. And then we're going to use Deborah's trick. Peel off our tear and tape backing. Oh, and then I always stick it right back down. All right, we've got that. And then this part that is exposed, we're going to tuck it inside. And I'm lining up this score line with the top of our box here. Okay. Just like that. And then we'll just stick that down. I can kind of see my adhesive is popping a little. So just, you know, just reinforce with your bone folder as needed. Just to make sure all that adhesive likes to stay stuck. Okay, anyway, so you can see I folded that initially the wrong way, so we're just going to pop it in like that. Isn't that cute? All right, so then what we're going to do is I'm going to take my Azure Afternoon ribbon, and now I'm going to use a stapler. You can use adhesive, glue dots, whatever you want to use, but I'm going to just kind of, you know, make a little bit of a ribbon here, and I'm just going to open up my you know, the thing. And I'm just going to go ahead and staple this so that we have the little ribbon, and then you can use that as your handle. You can use that to go ahead and open your box. So let's go ahead and decorate this thing, right? Let me grab my liquid glue. And just actually, we'll add our liquid glue onto our box. How about that? Just a little bit of liquid glue there on the top of that box, just for some decoration here. And add our cute little scalloped border. Maybe. You guys know I love seal, but that would have been way too hard to put on the top of that box. All right, then I'm just going to chop off the edges. Just like that. Not perfect, but it's good. It's good. The recipient will be like, oh my gosh, how'd you make me a mailbox? And then you'll be like, I know, right? All right, so we've got our mailbox here. Let's go ahead and add our other pieces. So all these basic white pieces, I'm going to add dimensionals to. So there's a couple, and then 2 more here. Okay, peel off the backings. And on the sides of the box, we're going to have mail. How cute is that? Okay. And on the front, oh, we got to peel off the backing first. On the front, we're going to have this cute little scent with love. And then we'll add these cute envelopes. I'll add some seal to the back. And I'm just going to tuck them in underneath our basic white sentiment here. So cute. It kind of looks like the wings in the USPS, doesn't it? And then I'm going to finish off with some classic matte dots. I'm going to use the white ones. And you can see I need more of those too. So we'll use one big one and one little one, just like that. And there is our cute box. Isn't that fun? So again, case from Erica Serwin. Thanks, Erica, for coming up with the measurements, because I didn't do that. But super, super cute box. So fun. And if it's a lot of candy. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Let me pull in our projects again here. We'll put him like that. So just as a reminder, if you would like this week's class to go, the Sending Love class to go, all you have to do is place a $40 order in my online store this week, and I will send you the card kits to make all 6 of these cards. And that is before tax and shipping. If your order goes over $50 before tax and shipping, you'll also get the kit to make one of these adorable mailboxes. So cute. I love it so much, and so perfect for this set too, right, with our mailboxes. And to get the class, make sure you use this host code right here, KYXPNYWE. You do not need to remember that. You can click the link in my description, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. It'll take you to my online store and have that host code included. But you do have to use the host code. That's how I know you want the class. Unless your order goes over $150, then you can take out that host code and earn Stampin' Rewards for yourself. Okay. All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I am going to head off to basketball. Last night of being a basketball aunt, we are back to our regular time of 5 p.m. Central next week. And yeah, otherwise, thanks so much again for joining, and I'll catch you then. Bye for now.